Shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all praises to the Heavenly Father, Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, Rachahakodash. Double honors to the apostles, the bishops, and the elders at Great Millstone who rule well. Peace and salutations, as always, to the elect. And I just wanted to do a quick response, all right, to this situation, all right, dealing with the back and forth, dealing with Ezekiel the 38th chapter, which there isn't any back and forth. You have this individual, formerly of the Sakari, Hassad, all right, this young man who, he went his way. He went and followed individuals who left off from the foundation, all right, and left off from the doctrine, all right, and things that were taught, not that they're totally, disregarded everything, but, as these individuals who are high-minded get amongst themselves, they start comparing themselves amongst themselves and, basically coming up with new breakdowns and new revelations. All right, and he followed a guy with the main character syndrome. He wants to be that guy, Chief Priest Alazar, Deacon Hakah. These are individuals who wanted to make a name for themselves. All right, and they broke off and pretty much went their way. All right, and now we see, just like the ancient Sakari, who were not followers of Yahweh Shai. I don't know how many times I have to, push that. They were not followers of Yahweh Shai, right? Point blank period. They did their own thing, just like you guys are doing your own thing. But at the end game of the Sakari was that they broke up, all right, and lost. Okay, and the same thing is happening here. All right, you have some individuals leaving, but they're not, correcting the false doctrine. So, in my opinion, they are what they are. We'll see. Ultimately, I personally don't give a damn, you know, why you individuals broke up, but the bottom line is that you're going off according to the doctrine, all right, and now, you're pushing this spirit of debate, you know, which we've openly said we're not interested in debates, and you, in the spirit of an apologist, in the spirit of Vocab Malone, all right, even when you listen to Hassad, he sounds like Vocab Malone. You're coming up trying to force these debates and do this back and forth. Well, like, I'll have my turn and then you have your turn. No. All right. We at Great Millstone have openly, stated that we're not, interested in that. So for you to try to force it, is ultimately disrespectful. But at the end of the day, all right, the bottom line is if anyone who's teaching, that after 1,000 years in the kingdom or after any point where we're set up in our land in the kingdom, that heathen nations are gonna, come up against us with weapons, all right, and there's gonna, they're gonna try to make war against us while the chariots are hovering, because the scriptures talks about in Isaiah the 4th chapter how there's gonna be chariots. As a matter of fact, let's get that. Uh, let's get Isaiah the 4th chapter. Isaiah 4, right? Isaiah the 4th chapter. Let's see. Isaiah 4, and this is when we're washed away from all of the filth. As a matter of fact, Isaiah 4:4 says, when the Lord shall have washed away the filth, all right, of the daughters of Zion, and shall have purged the blood of Jerusalem from the midst thereof, by the spirit of judgment and by the spirit of burning. So a great judgment is coming. All right, through that judgment that's coming to the earth, the Lord is going to purify his elect, bring us into the new covenant, which is the true resurrection, where we're all back, to our original estate, in heavenly bodies, and eventually we're going to have the ability, okay, the authority to use those bodies coming down to the earth and establish judgment. All right, and from that point on, all right, no heathen will have any say. All right, the only thing that they will be subject to is judgment, captivity, and learning righteousness. Okay, and living righteous. They will not be able to forward their idols. They will not be able to forward their opinions. All right. They won't have any weapons. They'll be totally disarmed. Okay. And they'll be subject to the authority of the throne of David. Okay. And when Yahushua returns, he's going to return to them, warring with each other. It's going to be a lot going on. All right. And they're going to try to war with him, and their armies are going to be destroyed. Their elites are going to scurry into the bunkers along with, their slaves and everything else, as it is written in Revelation, the 6th chapter, and various other scriptures. And they're going to await their judgment, which their judgment is, the tabernacle of David, coming down from heaven in those bodies, all right, to snatch them out of those bunkers, all right, and hey, the rest is history, and we know according to the Holy Scriptures, we know in part and prophesy in part. So there's particular prophecies and there's particular, things. We don't know exactly where we're going to be. We don't know exactly, the time frame, how long we're going to be on the chariot, while we're getting crowned, how long, will they be in the bunkers before we visit them, how on the earth, we know it's going to be totally chaotic. Certain parts of the earth are going to be uninhabitable. There's going to be nuclear waste. Okay, the waters are going to be bitter. Okay, but ultimately for some of these prophecies, we'll just have to see when we get there. Okay, and that's all right. The 100% truth is not dealing with knowing every detail. The 100% truth is ultimately dealing with the Holy Spirit being sent to the servants, the prophets, to sing the new song, which is the everlasting gospel that will be preached throughout the four corners of the earth, so that ultimately we can get to the next glory, and get delivered. Once we're delivered, we'll know everything there is to know, even as we are known. But what we do know is that when Yahushua cracks those crowds, that's the end of all heathen rulerships. The beast system will be broken up. Babylon the Great will be destroyed. Okay. And the elect will be delivered, not just from America. Okay, as Deacon Hassad said, the elect ain't just going to be delivered from America. He's going to send his angel, all right? As a matter of fact, real quick before we get this, let's get Matthew, the 24th chapter, right? Matthew 24 and 31. It's not just going to be America. Matthew 24 and 31, and he shall send his angels with the great sound of a trumpet, and they shall gather together his elect from the four winds, from one end of heaven to another. So it's not just going to be the elect being delivered out of Babylon. Now the great, all right, deliverance will be out of Babylon the Great, all right, because this is the new Egypt. Jeremiah 16, real quick. Jeremiah 16 and 14. Therefore, behold, the days come, saith Yahweh, that it shall no more be said, Yahweh liveth, that brought up the children of Israel out of the land of Egypt, but Yahweh liveth, that brought up the children of Israel from the land of the north. And though we know Yahweh got the credit, all right, for delivering the children of Israel out of the land of Egypt, it was the angel he sent to do the job, which he's going to send that angel again, all right, along with a company of angels to defend us and deliver us out of this new Egypt and from the different lands where we're scattered. But the Lord liveth, that brought up the children of Israel from the land of the north and from all the lands whether he have driven them, and I will bring them again into the land that I gave unto their fathers. Once we get established back in that land, all right, there will be no more wars. Okay, only order being established. So any war we read about in prophecy, all right, any heathen coming up against us, all right, that's all before Yahushua returns. All right, and during that time, all right, there will be a persecution against the saints. We know the dragon is going to come after the woman. But once we're established in the land, Isaiah 4 and 5 says, and Yahweh will create upon every dwelling place of Mount Zion and upon her assemblies a cloud of smoke by day and a shining of a flaming fire by night. For upon all the glory shall be a defense. You see? Let's read it in NLT. Hold one second. All right. Verse 5 in the NLT, Isaiah 4 and 5. Then the Lord will provide a shade for Mount Zion. All right. And all who assemble there. He will provide a canopy, all right, of a cloud during the day and smoke of flaming fire at night, covering, all right, the glorious land. And it will be a shelter from daytime, in the daytime for heat and a hiding place, all right, from storm. So ultimately, the chariots are going to be hovering over Jerusalem, okay, over the Holy Land, okay. None of these heathen will even think, okay, to come up against the men of the Lord. But ultimately, getting back to the point, with this individual brother Assad, which I met this individual before. He came up to the Great Millstone Dallas camp. I watch all your videos. I watch all Apostle, Tahar, Apostle. I watch all your videos. I learned so much from y'all. All right, only to get on a video with Alizar and Deacon, or I forget who he was on the video with, saying, GMS, you can't learn nothing from them. All they do is debate. They're old and played out, and y'all used to be on fire back in the old 34th days, but now it's boring. Y'all, there's no edification. So I have no respect for this dude, man. And he came up to these brothers trying to play humble and try to play like he was brotherly. It's a spirit of a serpent, and we have to understand that Yahweh Shai went through these things. There's nothing to debate, and we've already openly told you we're not interested in debating. And when you listen to this guy Hassad, he sounds exactly like Vocab Malone. See, what happened is these individuals start rubbing elbows with all of these debate teams, and getting around and rubbing elbows with all of these dudes with differences of opinions and so-called scholars. And ultimately, what happened is they lost the spirit, and they started to come up against the truth. All right, and now they find themselves in a situation where they're going into Jacob's trouble. All right, with all of these differences of doctrines and opinions, and the people that follow them, y'all are in a whole hell of a lot of trouble, especially with their stance on the Apostle Paul. All right, and asking questions about Acts 15, which we've answered those questions, man. Trying to trap brothers up. We already know the spirit you coming in. Okay, asking about Ezekiel 38 when we've already told you the answer. If you don't agree, you don't agree. If you think that after we're establishing our kingdom, all right, we're going to eventually at some point have to deal with a nation coming up against us, then that's your doctrine. Good luck with it. You've known us to always correct you individuals, man, because you're going off. Okay? And this spirit of debate, the need to be right, okay, walking up on camps trying to force debates when brothers are clearly saying we don't want to, is wicked, man. And again, you sound like Vocab Malone. That's who you sounded like when you were up there talking to those brothers, man. Well, once I get my turn, you get your turn. Shut up and leave us the hell alone, man. Because this is what Yahweh Shai had to go through. As a matter of fact, let me pull this up. Okay. This is the book of Mark, chapter 12 and 13. This is nothing new. All right. Just as Yahweh Shai went through these things, we're going to have to go through these things. Individuals who have a wicked intent come up and try to play like they're sincere to really trap you up in your words. And you're not going to change your doctrines. We've been going back and forth with you guys for years on the same issues, and you haven't changed anything. All you're going to do is get up there and get in a video with the deacon, and he's going to have a big-ass hat on, and y'all just going to go do the same. It's just going to be the same shit. All right, and it's funny, here it is, you asking about food offered to idols, but your leader is eating Taco Bell on camera. Your leader is claiming Crip on camera. Okay? And here it is, you have all of these disagreements in doctrine with all of these other camps, but it's only Great Millstone that you want to come up to and pester. Why don't you go up to the IUIC camp? Now, if I see you go up to an IUIC camp and sincerely ask them questions and try to debate them, then I'll know you're really trying to get the understanding. But really, it's just the need to come up against Great Millstone because we correct you. You do sit in your corners and you ignore all of these other camps going off, but you come up against us because we're the ones willing to come up against you. So you dudes are partial in your judgments. And anybody bigging up the IUIC with the nasty work that they've been putting out is you're just not right. Okay, now again, yeah, so these camps teach particular things that are right, but if you're not willing to address them on especially the name of our Lord, man. Okay, the name of the Most High and His only begotten Son, and their stance on that, and how they're leading Israel, all right, down a path of destruction, man. All right, you got camps telling Jake it's okay to take the jab. All right, the brothers brought up the microchip, and he was like, "Well, I don't think they're saying it's okay to take the microchip." Yes, they are. Basically, in a nutshell, that's what they're saying. If they're not willing to condemn it, if they're not willing to link it, all right, to anything dealing with what John the Revelator saw in Revelation the 13th chapter, and acting like it's nothing to worry about, ultimately they're giving Israel to go ahead to take it. You have camps openly saying, "Do you think if the Most High cares if you take a microchip?" So that should anger you to go up to their camp and question them. If you really care, but you want to come up and deal and go back and forth, all right, on these particular topics, then it's stupid, man. Okay, it's stupid, man. Can we eat food offered to idols? Everything in America that you eat is offered to an idol. You see? And the order came, and we already went through that. The order came down in Acts the 15th chapter to tell the new believer Gentiles to stay away from those things, because ultimately it was tied to all kind of practices that they were into. But there came a point where, as the churches were established, they were asking questions. Can we eat the meat? Can we eat the meat? All right, that we know these particular cultures and heathens sacrificed in their sacrifices and sold into shambles, man. But we went into that. We went into all of that. We've done videos on that for years. We've been dealing with you guys on that. But here it is, a nigga is on camera eating Taco Bell. That's not offered to an idol? Come on, man. KFC, that's not offered to an idol? Being a Crip, that's not offered to an idol? Anyway, this is Mark the 12th chapter and the 13th verse, man. You guys are little children, man. But this is the spirit you're coming in. Okay? Yahweh Shai answers the Pharisees, Sadducees, and the scribes. And they sent unto him certain of the Pharisees and of the Herodians to catch him in his words. See? They send these, and basically that's all you're doing. You're just trying to catch a brother in his words and then use his word against the other and use it, that's all y'all are doing. And when they were come, they said unto him, Master, we know that thou art true. And they were in their hearts, in their mind, they were really against Yahweh Shai. But here it is, they coming up in this, all right, this humble spirit teacher. They said, we know how honest you are, all right, and how impartial. And you don't play favorites. You teach the way of God truthfully. Now tell us, is it right to pay taxes to Caesar or not? See, but Yahweh Shai said he's seen the hypocrisy. He saw the hypocrisy. And what did Yahweh Shai say? I'm going to read that in the NLT. When he saw through their hypocrisy, he said, why are you trying to trap me? So, and that's all that you're doing going up to these brothers. You know their page, so I didn't come with a camera, so no, you're going to use their video and do a response video. You know exactly what camp that is. and the videos and the answers that you're asking, it's already out there. And you also saw the videos that we're saying we're not interested in debate. We're not interested in a back and forth debate to appease these particular people who are in the audience who don't give two shits. They just want to be entertained. Okay? They just want to be entertained, man. All right, we broke it down. We've done multiple videos on it. If you don't have the patience to watch it, or if you don't agree, that's just what it is. Okay, there's another instance. See if I can pull it up. In Matthew 22, I believe. Yep. Matthew 22 and 15. Then they sent Pharisees, all right, and took counsel, all right, And you dudes ain't perfect in the law. That's a very high-minded mindset to believe that ultimately you keep the laws perfectly. Talking about I don't wear mixed fabrics. Well, are those hats all one fabric that y'all wear when y'all out there teaching? You're sinning willfully if you wear mixed fabrics, man. Come on, bro. And all this nitpicking, and again, this is why the scriptures say avoid, all right, foolish questions and strivings about the law because they're unprofitable because none of us can meet the measure that the law in the first covenant required anyway. Come on, dude. You dudes are little children, man. Okay? And y'all went your own way. Deal with your own way. Go get your own oil. That's the stance we're taking. Go get your own goddamn oil. Matthew 22:15. Then went the Pharisees and took counsel on how they might entangle him in his talk. And that's all Hassad is doing. Asking the same questions that we've been dealing with for years. Is it okay to eat foods that offer the idol? Do you think James? Look, we broke it down. The Jews at the time of Acts the 15th chapter, at the time of the New Testament, they were in of the mindset that the kingdom was coming in that day. So when James in Acts the 15th chapter said this is a fulfillment of the tabernacle of David being fulfilled, he misspoke because ultimately the tabernacle of David can't be rebuilt fully until the northern kingdom come in. They were just fervently of belief that that time the kingdom was coming. Even at the book of Acts, the first chapter, they asked you, are you going to restore the kingdom now? The Jews who were in Jerusalem, who were raised in the customs of the Jews, or of the mindset that the kingdom, they were going to be freed from the Roman slavery by at that time, man. But if you look at prophecy, there was another little horn that had to be raised up. So in the book of Acts, the 15th chapter, James misspoke. All right, in the fact that that wasn't the fulfillment of the tabernacle of David being rebuilt, but it was a start. That was the starting point. All right, because the scattered Israelites would need access contrary to perfection in the law. They needed access through Yahushua, man. You see what I'm saying? This is why Yahushua said you're going to be witnesses of me in Jerusalem, Judea, Samaria, where the Jews were. Then you're going to go to the uttermost parts of the earth, starting with the scattered Israelites that Paul was sent to. The ministry of grace that you all mock at and don't understand. You don't have an understanding of Paul's ministry. You don't have an understanding of Paul's writing. You're stumbling over the stumbling stone of offense, which is Yahushua, openly in front of all Israel. And we have done the videos. We have tried to reel you brothers back in. We have tried our hardest. We've done everything we can do. You don't agree. You, all right, are going to have to ultimately stand on what you believe and just stand on it, and we'll see how it works out. But we're not interested in a debate. We don't debate. Okay, that's what y'all do. That's what y'all good at. It makes y'all money. It gets y'all attention. It gets y'all clicks. We will see at the end of the day, when it's all said and done, all right, who Yahweh Bahashim Yahushai was dealing with and who he sent to tell the truth of the matter. Because we are at the end of this thing, man. We at the end of this thing. We got to argue with a Hebrew Israelite about Paul's writings. We at the end of this thing, and we got to argue with you about, well, when we get established in the kingdom, is there going to be another war? No, man. Hell no. This thing is about to be taken off to the internet. All right, the left hand is getting ready to come up against the truth, and here it is. Y'all are right with them doing. Y'all in the spirit of agents, man. What's all this weird, tacky madness coming from anyway? Then you openly say we're in unison with IUIC when y'all clearly don't agree. Well, why don't you go debate them? Go up to IUIC camp and say, what is the mark of the beast? Go up to IUIC camp and say, what is the name of the Lord? since you want to know the truth so much, go deal with them. See how that works out for you. Okay? Now, I can see if we were, on the video like, nigga, come debate us. You know what I'm saying? Nigga, we want to debate, nigga, we'll debate. No, we don't want to debate you cats, man. For what? For you guys to go and teach the same goddamn thing you was teaching before the debate? Because that's all that's going to happen. So we know you guys' spirit. We know the type of dude y'all are, man. We know the men that you decided to follow, Alazar and Deacon Hakai. We know them. They have not changed. Those are your leaders. That's who you chose to follow. That's who you chose to take hold to their doctrines. That all of the little switch ups and you could have sex on the Sabbath. You could teach with a hat. You could do what the hell you want to do. You could do this. You could do that. You could be a crip high priest or chief priest crip, whatever the hell y'all want to do. If that's what you want to do, do it. Okay, we'll have an opinion about it, but I'm not for to debate your ass, man. And stop with that fake brotherly love shit, man. See, sir, we know how you dudes operate, and y'all be able to use that to say, see, I was brotherly with him. I was, humble. I was nice. But then you try to take over your brothers prophesying, going into what they going into. Now they got to stop and deal with your crazy ass. And you sound crazy. Well, once I get my turn, then you get your turn. Then it turns into a debate where you're dictating the no. Hell no. You and the Christians, leave us the fuck alone, man. Stay where the hell you at. If we see you, just say what's up. All right? Or shalom and get your ass up the street, man. Go do your thing. Matthew 22 and 15. Then went the Pharisees and took counsel on how they might entangle him in his talk. And they sent unto him their disciples with authority and saying, Master, we know that thou art true and thou teachest the... So, yeah, Luke 11 and 54, laying wait for him and seeking to catch something out of his mouth that they might accuse him. All right? Now, I don't believe that y'all are trying to get us thrown up to the authorities, but who knows what the hell you dudes are up to. We don't trust you. You showed your hand over all of these years on what you're really all about, man. Okay? And y'all never fully came up under any yoke. Any leader that y'all came up under, all right, speaking to Alazar and Deacon, they eventually wiggled away from them when they got told about themselves. Luke 20 and 20, and they watched him and sent forth spies, all right. Let's read it in the NLT. All right, Luke 20 and 20, watching for their opportunity, the leaders sent spies pretending to be honest men. They tried to get Yahushua to say something that they can report to the Roman governor that they would arrest him. So this is the spirit, again, that which is then is now, man. There's no new thing under the sun. Let's get that. And again, you sound like a street Christian apologist. Y'all have, that debate demon has really engulfed y'all, man, to where y'all think that's what the truth is about. Sit here debate with y'all. This place is getting ready to be destroyed, man. We want the kingdom, man. Okay? Ecclesiastes 1 and 9. The thing that have been is that which shall be, and that which is done is that which shall be done, and there is no new thing under the sun. Okay? And basically the same thing Yahushua went through, all right, his followers are going to have to go through with you guys, man. Okay? And again, you guys are off in your doctrine, and we've showed you why. We've showed you how you don't agree. So we will see. And we'll just leave it at that. Okay? And this whole debate thing, like the scriptures say, debate thy cause, that ain't talking about Proverbs 25 and 9. You got these unlearned Israelites posting, debate thy cause with thy neighbor, all right, and discover not a secret to another. Okay, this is basically saying when you're arguing with your fellow Israelite, don't betray secrets, man. All right, meaning if you're having an argument, all right, don't take low blows. All right, remember that time, nigga, we was together, all right, and you told me you knew such and such, because that can be gossip, man. All right, but going back and forth with individuals on things that we don't agree in, yeah, every blue moon, but that ain't the purpose of this gospel, man. For all of you Israelites to be entertained and ooh and ah and still be full of shit, man. The Lord is going to destroy you guys, man. That's our message to you if you don't repent. Okay, and your stance on Apostle Paul is wrong. Your breakdown of Acts the 21st chapter with Apostle Paul is wrong. Okay, you guys are wrong. Okay, so we're gonna just leave it at that. All right, we done the breakdown on Ezekiel 38. We done the breakdown on foods. All right, offered to idols. Okay, if you want the breakdown on foods offered to idols, we did one. See that? Concerning eating foods offered to idols, the history of it. We went into the history and the judgments on the matter and what was going on around that time. We went into it. It's not as just cut and dry as just reading, oh, foods offered to idols. No, there's a history behind these things. See? This was done 5 months ago. But see, you're just like your main man Alazar. You know, you're only gonna you only gonna watch the videos of the the top, which that's all right. He said anybody else outside of Apostle Tahar is a little guy. Yeah, it is what it is. In the situation with James in Acts the 15th chapter, boom. Okay, 5 months ago, the Jews expected the kingdom back then. James' statement in Acts 15:16 through 17. All right. So there's going to be more people that see your videos than ours. All right. But don't act like we don't go into these matters, man. Okay. We know YouTube misconstrues the views, but we went into these things. We go into it all the time, and we will continue to go into them. But I'm not interested in a debate. All right. But if you come up to the GMS Dallas camp, all right, we may deal with you. We just may deal with you. All right, who knows with spirit, but the end of the day, we might call the police on your ass. Oh man, I'm not gonna call the police on you, man. But you, Hassad, man, the Lord is not dealing with you. All right, you started out with a spirit that could have been sincere, but you've been tainted by the individuals you chose to follow. Now that's not working out for you, and we will see, man. We're gonna leave it there, man. It ain't nothing that deep. We just gonna continue to teach what's taught, man. Yep, Acts 15, James, Amos, edification. Watch that, Hassad. Okay. Oh, these are two different videos. Yeah, I did one. Yeah, the Jews expected a kingdom back then. And when you're reading the New Testament, man, there's a lot there's a lot of history that needs to be applied and understood too. And again, Peter warned us, right? Beloved brother Paul, the head of the church warned us. All right? That Paul's writings will be a stumbling block. 2 Peter's chapter 3 and 15. And remember, our Lord's patience gives people time to be saved. That's what this grace period was for. This is what our beloved brother Paul also wrote unto you, all right, with the wisdom the Most High gave him. Speaking of things in all of his letters, some of his comments are hard to understand, and those who are ignorant and unstable have twisted his letters to mean something quite differently, just as they do with other scripture, and this will result in your destruction. So if you can't see that you're falling under the warning that Peter gave as pertaining to Apostle Paul's writings, if you can't see that the leaders and these guys that you follow are off, okay, even in that call-in where that guy called in asking y'all questions about Ezekiel 38, y'all didn't know. If you clearly can't see that you needed to be led, all right, and you're not leaders, okay, then good luck. We'll see how it works out, baby. Shalom.